The Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is just days from its culmination, has hit a major controversy. The yatra had to be halted as Congress MP Rahul Gandhi's security said a large crowd gathered without any local police cover. In fact, Mr. Gandhi and Mr. Omar Abdullah, former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, were gherawed by this large crowd for several minutes. Now, Mr. Gandhi was supposed to walk 20 kilometers in Kashmir, but had to stop after about just 1 kilometer. He cited security lapses after he crossed the Banihal tunnel, where a large crowd was waiting, but there was no security cover from the police. The police, on its part, says there was no lapse. They say organizers of the yatra did not inform them of the large gathering from Banihal. They also say that they were not consulted before the yatra was called off. They claim there was no lapse at all. Now, it's important to understand why there is so much focus on Rahul Gandhi's security. He has been an SPG protectee or a Special Protection Group protectee until 2019. After which he was downgraded to Z+. Now, as an SPG protectee, Rahul Gandhi earlier was protected by the elite force of 3,000 personnel, details of which are classified and only given to the protectee. It's the same force that protects the Prime Minister. Being an SPG protectee entails a special security protocol. For example, travel in special bulletproof or armored cars. Commandos are equipped with more sophisticated weapons, provisions of Air Force choppers for travel, so on and so forth. Now he has Z+ security, in which there is a team of 55 people from various forces like NSG Commandos, CRPF, ITBP as well, instead of a single elite force. The decision to change security lies with the Home Ministry and is based on a threat perception. Now, the Gandhi family has been given SPG protection for several decades due to the assassinations of two former Prime Ministers and family members, Rajiv Gandhi and Indira Gandhi. SPG protection is the highest level of protection in the country and is reserved for the Prime Minister and their immediate family. Z+ security is the next level, which is what Rahul Gandhi currently has. That is followed by Z security and then Y+, Y and X. Now, in each level, the security cover varies and, of course, diminishes. But the conferring of security, whether to politicians, actors or businessmen, is often seen as a political message. This is also why the allegations of security lapse has turned into a fight between the BJP and the Congress. Listen in.
This arrangement completely collapsed, and the police people who were supposed to manage the crowd and hold the rope were nowhere to be seen. So my security people were very uncomfortable with me walking further on the yatra. So we had to cancel, I had to cancel my walk.
सारे आरोप जो कांग्रेस पार्टी और राहुल गांधी लगा रहे हैं, उनका खंडन करते हुए बिल्कुल स्पष्ट हो गया है ये सारे बयान आरोप अनर्गल हैं और ये प्रतीत होता है कि इस पे ओछी और घटिया राजनीति करी जा रही है। भारत जोड़ो यात्रा जो कि केवल सुर्खियों में बनी रहे, इसलिए इस तरह से जगह जगह पर ये कह दिया जाता है कि जो सुरक्षा थी वो पर्याप्त नहीं थी।
श्रीनगर में बैठे हैं मनोज सिन्हा जी, हमारे लेफ्टिनेंट जनरल एलजी। ये सबसे पहले उनको ये जवाब देना पड़ेगा कि राहुल गांधी जी की ये जो पदयात्रा आप ये सरकार से इजाजत लेते हुए ये पदयात्रा शुरू हुई है और ये चल रही है, 30 तारीख ये खत्म होने वाला है। तो ये जिम्मेवारी किसके थे? तो जिसके ये जिम्मेवारी थे उनको ही जवाब देना होगा।
The organizers themselves had neither anticipated nor planned the Banihal crowd to join the Kashmiri stretch. The size of the crowd because of this spillover became larger than planned. That led to the pressure on the available security resources. Additionally, plainclothesmen from security wing of the J&K police continue to remain involved at places of stay and to ensure anti-sabotage checks and access control to the extent possible. And all arrangements have been made to ensure the best possible security for the ongoing Bharat Jodo Yatra.
All right, Abhijit Jasrote, a spokesperson of the BJP, Jammu and Kashmir, with me on the show today. I'm also speaking with Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer. IPS Khadial of the Congress is joining me on the show, and Sanjay Jha, author, also comes in on the show. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for speaking with us on Beyond the Headline. Mr. Azad, let me begin with you and understanding the nature of this claimed security lapse, because there are two different versions here, right? The Congress party and Rahul says there was a security breach. The Kashmir police says there was no breach at all. So I'm not getting into the political aspect of it right now. I'll go to the BJP for that. But what do you make of this? What is the protocol in this place? Because it would not be out of the ordinary that more crowds than what are expected turn up, right?
That's right. You see, the Z plus security, which has been accorded to Rahul Gandhi, is managed by a very, very able protection force. That is the CRPF. It is giving protection to a lot of high-profile protectees who are actually threatened. And Rahul Gandhi is one of the threatened protectees. Now, see, all throughout, whether in Jammu or in other places, the deployment has been more than enough. In fact, if you see, even in Kashmir, the deployment has been, 15 CRPF companies, 8 J&K, route domination, high rises, everything. What has actually happened in this case is more a question of law and order than actually security threat. It's a ropeline strategy which you deploy when a yatra is on the move. The person, the VIP himself, is protected by a close protection unit, and only verified people are allowed in that inside ring which is being talked about. Now, I agree to a certain extent, and in fact, there were unprecedented crowd, which should be a very, very happy sign for both Congress and even for the BJP, that in a sensitive place like Jammu and Kashmir, there are crowds, because such an event like this, a high political, activity is happening after a long time. So in that case, I agree to a certain extent that the police would have been overwhelmed. Now, the question is, the outside, the deployment must have remained the same, but the rope line strategy, which meant to keep the VIP away from the milling crowds, failed at that particular moment. So in what
situation, just a minute, sir. So in what situation or circumstances would that happen? Because right now here, there's a blame game going on, right? There is the Z plus security and all the forces that are part of the Z plus security for that particular VIP, in this case, Rahul Gandhi. And then there's the local police who does this rope strategy. And so, prima facie, would you say that that is the lapse?
No, Z plus security is only for the close protection of the VIP. That means they're around him, right?
Okay.
They have the bulletproof car. There are the bodyguards around him. Whereas the state police gives the outer security. The outer ring is by the state police that keeps in the people who are verified, who are known to Rahul Gandhi, who've been traveling with him. Now, in that particular moment, when there are a lot of crowds which came, that rope line strategy broke. So you can say it's a lapse, but to say that it is some kind of a nefarious design or something from that is not true. It happens, and it has happened in this case, and there will certainly be an inquiry. Now, I think Rahul Gandhi did the right thing, that he took the advice of his own security, which is the CRPF, saying that because the crowd is unmanaged right now, I think it's safer that you go back into the car. Now, the Kashmir police is saying they should have talked to us. Maybe they would have resumed the yatra with him a little later, or would have been capable later. That is the issue, security-wise.
All right. So that breaks it down. And that's why I like to always start with that expert, non-partisan view, because it breaks it down into what the facts really are. Now, having heard all of that, IPS Khadial, was this, as the BJP claims, an attempt to cry foul, hog the headlines, say that there was some, nefarious conspiracy afoot? Maybe more people turned up than was expected. And in that moment, they could not keep that rope. It would have resumed after a while.
First, Mr. Gandhi has a high threat perception. There is no ambiguity about that. He has lost his father. He has lost his grandmother. Multiple security lapses happened, not just today, but back in the day as well during the yatra. The yatra gets suspended, has been suspended before because of similar reasons. And instead of ensuring due diligence, the Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to question the nature of allegations, is trying to question us. What does the Congress party possibly have to gain? It is the Bharatiya Janata Party that is doing politics over this issue as well. And instead of ensuring security to Mr. Gandhi, they are simply politicizing each and everything. And there's a pattern to it as well. The BJP has time and again tried to stop the yatra, whether it be, raising questions about why he met certain people, why is he staying in a container. There's a COVID threat is what the BJP said, wrote a letter to only Bharat Jodo Yatra, not to their own yatra, not to their own rallies, leaders holding rallies, road shows, campaigns, etc. Mr. Modi wore a mask in the parliament in the morning, but when he went for the wedding in the evening, there was no mask. So there is a pattern. You can see the Bharatiya Janata Party has been wanting to destroy and disrupt the yatra because they are perturbed with it. But the fact of the matter is that multiple people who were there in the inner circle, they are witness to the fact that the cordon, the outer ring of cordon that was maintained by the Jammu and Kashmir police was violated. It basically vanished into the thin air.
Abhijit just wrote here. Let the BJP respond to that. The Congress spokesperson is saying it's by design, it's happened before, and it's an attempt to disrupt the whole yatra.
You see, design, if you're talking, the cynical mindset of Congress people is now stand exposed in front of the whole country. First day, Mr. Digvijay Singh defamed, used those obnoxious remarks against my Indian Army and my Indian Air Force. And now Rahul Gandhi has done the same by defaming my J&K police. Let me tell you one thing, Rahul Gandhi, that this J&K police is the only police which has saved us from terrorists and all those people from past 3 decades. So now you are towing the line of Digvijay Singh, we can very well understand, because your yatra has lost its relevance. It lost its relevance movement it entered into Jammu and Kashmir. It stood exposed in front of the whole country because first that t-shirt drama was over the moment Rahul Gandhi
but Mr. Jasrotia, how is all of this relevant to the topic today, sir? How is this relevant to the topic today?
I'm just coming to that because
so let's come to that, please.
Straight away I'll come to that because the sort of response which Rahul Gandhi was getting in Jammu, so he was expecting the same response in Kashmir also. So what they conveyed to the security agencies that we are going to have this much number in Kashmir. What all of a sudden, because Omar Abdullah came to the rescue of Congress and came to the rescue of Rahul Gandhi, and this all, whatever crowd you are now looking on your screen, that is all the crowd of the Gupkar gang all together. So that was not expected by anyone. But again, the J&K police was able to manage, but Rahul Gandhi took a safe way out that he called off the yatra because he was knowing that alone if you say...
No, but Mr. Jasrotia, what is the claim you're making? You're claiming that the yatra was a flop, so nobody came. But then the police is saying too many people came.
Exactly.
Then you're saying it's Gupkar gang. Then you're saying he backed out and sat in the car. What exactly, when you're saying that he's trying to grab the headlines, what exactly is the claim?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying, because even Rahul Gandhi was not expecting. This was all the crowd which was brought by Omar Abdullah and the other part of the Gupkar team. So they were not expecting this much people. But now Rahul Gandhi has realized that Congress is not going to attract any more crowds in Kashmir. So that is why he found a safe way out that I should call off the yatra and go back. Because whereas the J&K police told them that he can resume his yatra, we are there with him. Certain part I can understand 2.1% or 2% margin of error could be there. But this was not expected by Congress also. Because this is all the crowd of National Conference and other local parties who have brought the crowd over there.
Okay, Sanjay,
so the real relevance of the yatra is lost. And Congress
I'm still not clear how the relevance of the yatra is lost by who comes in, because there have been different kind of political parties hopping in and hopping out throughout. So I'm not sure what is the point that the BJP spokesperson is making. Sanjay Jha, is a mountain being made out of a molehill? Because Mr. Yashovardhan Azad broke it down very, very well, that there may have been an underestimation of the crowds. In that time, there may have been a momentary lapse. Rahul Gandhi's security said that, look, the outer ring seems to have disappeared. Please sit in your vehicle. And he did that. But the statements that follow seems to talk about a larger, wider conspiracy and failure. It's the same force that's going to protect him till the 30th of January.
Tamanna, I have 2 points to make. Number one, I'm very glad that you have Mr. Yashovardhan Azad on your program. I have enormous respect for him. I think he's articulated the situation in a very dispassionate, impartial way. And I think we all need to be very mature when we are discussing the security or life threat on somebody like Rahul Gandhi. I mean, the BJP may not admire Rahul Gandhi, may not like him, but the truth is that Rahul Gandhi is a national figure. I think his entire 3,500 kilometer journey, in my opinion, is extraordinary. And I'm glad that it's coming to an end without any untoward incident or any security lapse happening. I think as far as what I have heard today from friends whom I have in the Congress and based on all newspaper reports, I think the important thing is that, Rahul Gandhi, when he was told that there could be some kind of a risk or a fault line, he immediately adhered to that without creating any melodrama or trying to create some kind of a media brouhaha. And that's something which I admire about Rahul Gandhi, especially in these circumstances.
Sanjay, isn't that standard practice? I mean, it's up to you to admire Rahul Gandhi for any actions that he takes, but if his security personnel tells him that it's unsafe, please sit in the car, and he follows through, isn't that standard practice?
Well, let me tell you, I have been in politics long enough to tell you that a lot of politicians use every available opportunity to try and actually escalate even a non-issue into a very spectacular event. So, I actually feel that given the kind of political ecosystem we live in, where everybody is a dramatist or a theatrical performer, I really admire Rahul for not making any really commotion over what was, I think, a correct security directive. But the point I wish to make here is that the BJP needs to stop ridiculing, the Congress's complaint that in the past there have been attempts to try and tell Rahul Gandhi and the Yatra to slow down. I'll give you one example. And I think the Congress spokesperson was absolutely right. On that COVID issue, the way they wrote letters to him, etc., was a clear case of an overreaction. I'll give you one example. The Prime Minister Modi landed in Parliament with a mask to make an optics kind of a point. The next day, he was all over the place without a mask. So, I just believe that we are really, in a great number of ways, becoming a political theater of absurdity, where the highest leadership in the country also stoops to the ultimate media, atmospherics. This is what is the problem. And therefore, I feel the Congress should not accuse the BJP of deliberately trying to create a threat. I don't think that so far has been established. But the BJP should stop ridiculing Rahul Gandhi and the Congress for raising issues, because they have had a legitimate problem with the BJP from the word go.
Okay, Mr. Jasrotia, your response to that this is not the first attempt to puncture the Yatra. That is the claim.
Come on, I don't find any truth in that. Let me tell you one thing. What was the motive of this Rahul Gandhi's Yatra? Was it really a Bharat Jodo Yatra or Congress Jodo or Gandhi Parivar Jodo Yatra? Just answer one. I would really like to know from Mr. Jha that, on Saturday when Rahul Gandhi was in Jammu, there were 2 blasts in Garhwal. On that very day, Rahul Gandhi was supposed to take a rest. He was supposed to go to Delhi. And he didn't even bother to walk a few steps and just to inquire about the health of those people who were injured in the blast. He preferred to go to Delhi. And the same way, he flew to the Delhi in the same way how Mr. Farooq Abdullah also took a plane in 1987-89, leaving behind the people of Kashmir in blood. Same way he did the same. So these 2 parties are same when it comes to the worries of the people, when it comes to the pain of the people, when it comes to the suffering of the people. So for what purpose he's doing all this yatra? Is this a Bharat Jodo Yatra? It's a Bharat Jodo Yatra. Look at remarks, look at speeches against our army. I mean to say what it is.
So since you've asked that question to Sanjay Jha, he will answer.
Let us be very clear. Let us be very clear.
Yeah.
Why don't you give it the name of that? It's a Congress Jodo Yatra. It's a Gandhi Parivar Jodo Yatra. I mean, what is this? Is a big.
उनका political strategy वो कोई भी नाम दे उससे मतलब.
Yeah,
one second. Yes, no, but the specific question about Jammu. Yes, Sanjay.
No, let me answer him very clearly. Abhijit, you're trying to be very valiant and very intrepid. The truth is, your BJP party has panicked after the Bharat Jodo Yatra began, and now it's coming to an end. You guys are nervous as hell, and you know that. Amit Shah was compelled, by the way, to suddenly announce that the will be inaugurated on January 1. That is enough manifestation of the kind of political worry you have. That's number one. Point number two, please do not use the word Jodo. I think the Tukre gang that you use very casually in a way insults Indians. But if anybody is a Tukre gang, it is you. Because you are the one with the colonial mindset following a policy of divide and rule to fracture India in religious communities. So stop taking a high ground. The Congress is doing what it should. Tamanna is right. That's a political strategy. And I do believe it will work. If not in the short term, definitely beginning Karnataka, you will begin to see the electoral impact.
Works or not politically remains to be seen, Sanjay Jha. Let me clarify that. We'll have that discussion on the 30th, on the culminating day. Ke is sab se hua kya? You know, did Rahul Gandhi's image get burnished? Is it going to translate into a change for the Congress or for opposition politics? That discussion is still to be made. Today we're talking about the security threat and the perceived security threat, and that's an important one because this is a Z plus security category individual. There is no doubt about that. That has been accorded to him by the government. He's gone from SPG protected to Z plus. That security was never withdrawn. So, and in any kind of a situation like this, since, you know, the Yatra has gone through so many states, it's incumbent upon the local police to provide all of the arrangements. Today, Abhijit just wrote here, the question was, why was that lacking? Now, important to note that the Kashmir police has come and said that it will be foolproof from here on. These are the same people who are going to control it. Just quick word to Abhijit, since, you know, he's fielding both of y'all, and then I'll come back to you, Ashpreet. Yes.
So it was not at all lacking. Kashmir police had already made it clear. CNK police had already made it clear that you can resume your yatra. But I told you already that Rahul Gandhi knew that no more entire Gupkar gang cannot carry out this yatra because the common Kashmiris, the common people of Kashmir are not there with us. Because Kashmir knows people, Congress right from past 50, 60 years. First and foremost of all, they are talking about Bharat Jodo Yatra. And you have basically given one part of Jammu and Kashmir to POJK to Pakistan, the other part you have given to China. So for what purpose you are here? We have suffered enough due to the apathy of Congress from
Mr. Azad wants to come in.
years. So we made aliens in our own country.
Mr. Azad to come in.
We remained aliens in our own country.
Yes.
Now after 5th August 2019, when we are fully Indian, we are merged with our country, we are proud of that. For what purpose you are coming over here? That is what entire Jammu and Kashmir people want to know.
So now your question is, for what purpose are they coming? Okay, yes, Mr. Azad.
You know, Tamanna, I'm a little upset because this is a huge matter which should be deliberated upon very, very seriously by the political parties and not, you know, making charges. The question is that both the BJP, the central government has been claiming that violence is down. There is a talk of removing AFSPA from the area. There is a talk from removing the army from the area. There is a talk about saying that there is normalcy in the area. In that respect, I think the central government should welcome the yatra of Rahul Gandhi. And Rahul Gandhi should be very happy that there are more and more people coming, even in sensitive area like J&K. It's a win-win situation for both the political parties. Now the entire focus should be on the security. And therefore, there should be a better liaison between the Congress and the state police, which is absolutely capable of giving the security. CRPF is deployed in no small measure in the entire valley. And I think in the next 2 days, the entire focus should be on security and not politics. These are fringe benefits of whatever can be given, but going through J&K and flying the flag, the Indian flag, at Lal Chowk or wherever in Srinagar, it's a great, great happening for both the parties.
Well, what other way to show normalcy than the resumption of political activity? Yes, Ashpreet, you wanted to come in.
See, first of all, let me clarify one thing. I was misquoted, Tamanna, when you said that the Congress party is saying that it was a plan devised by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Nowhere did I say that. Number two, the Bharatiya Janata Party is making self-contradictory statements. The spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party said that, see, the Congress Bharat Jodo Yatra turned out to be a flop show because nobody turned out. That's why they made this an excuse. so that they could avoid the embarrassment. On the other hand, the police has categorically mentioned that there was an overflow of the people, that more people than expected came. That's why this happened. So the Bharatiya Janata Party should get their facts straight in the first place. Number two, when the police says that more people than expected turned out, impliedly it is admitting that, you know, there was a fault on their part. They did not know about this. It was their job to know about this. When there have been antecedents back in the day, recent antecedents, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi's, security lapses happened, the protocol was, not maintained by the police. And despite that, there was no intelligence. Despite that, there was no more vigilance. It should have been more, and it was exactly opposite of that happened this time. Number three, you see that multiple people, not just people from the Congress party, not just the pedestrians who were walking on the yatra, but Mr. Abdullah himself was also witness to the fact that the outer ring was, which was maintained by the Jammu and Kashmir police, did vanish. And despite that, nothing's been done. Now, I'll tell you one example of the double standards of the BJP. When Mr. Modi came to Punjab, there was this major inquiry that happened. It became a major issue. We did not ridicule, this. We did not disregard this. We also helped and assisted with the inquiry, with the investigation. And when it comes to the Bharatiya Janata Party, there's been multiple lapses for Mr. Gandhi. His security lapses happened time and again during the yatra. But not once has the Bharatiya Janata Party
so
been
you are saying that there have been lapses in BJP states. But Ashpreet, you started by saying that you have been misquoted, but you are reiterating that there have been lapses in BJP ruled state during the yatra. You are saying that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm saying that. But am I saying that it's been devised by the Bharatiya Janata Party? There's a difference in what I'm trying to say.
Okay, see, in BJP ruled states and in a union territory which is under the Home Ministry.
Tamanna, last point. So basically, the BJP should be more responsible when it comes to such statements. Mr. Modi's security lapse happened. We assisted. We did not disregard.
Any response, Mr. Jasrotia? Any response? Any response, Mr. Jasrotia? Yes.
So
you see,
there's not been one inquiry. Last point, Tamanna. There's not been one inquiry, despite so many incidents. Ek bhi inquiry nahi hai, not one. And number two, they've always disregarded it. It's not happened. It's just a figment of their imagination. This is the attitude of the Bharatiya Janata Party. They are non-serious.
I'm sure the police in every situation you're naming, that force will have its own internal inquiry. And I'll come to Yashovardhan for that. But first, yes, Mr. Jasrotia. Yes, Mr. Jasrotia.
Yeah. See now who is talking. And like you were saying that the government is not prepared. Let me say government, police, everybody was prepared, but the people of Jammu and Kashmir were not at all prepared for this, because there's a quote of Abraham Lincoln that you can fool some people for some time, most of the people most of the time, but not all the people all the time. And that holds true for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, because we have suffered enough due to the apathy of Congress from past 50, 60 years. And when you are talking about the security scenario and other things, then you should always remember how you plotted the murder of Shama Prasad Mukherjee. At that time, what was the security, what you did at that time?
You should look at the antecedents.
Remember, at that time, you were handing gloves. You were handing gloves to the national conference.
All right, let's 1 minute. Let's come. I want to come to Yashovardhan Azad. I want to come to Yashovardhan Azad. 1 minute.
You and Congress plotted all.
We are going off track. 1 second. I'm coming to Yashovardhan Azad. Mr. Azad, just the point on no internal inquiries. You spoke in your first response, in your first comment. You said that there will be an inquiry on what has happened today. Is that standard practice, where whichever force is involved will have an internal inquiry? Because they do this no matter who the politician is, what the yatra is, it's business as usual for them.
In this particular case, Tamanna, the issue is even more important, because a very sensitive state, and this yatra has been traveling almost, 3,500 miles. So this is something very important. And I can tell you with complete confidence that in a yatra like this, when you're providing security, it's not only a liaison between the Z plus security detail with the state government, but with the intelligence agencies also involved, because they are the ones who will be assessing the crowds. They are the ones who will be assessing the kind of threats which are coming from across the border or within from the anti-national elements. So an internal inquiry, forget by the organization, internal inquiry will be done, but the state government will also have an internal inquiry, because this is extremely important, because it is in the interest of the state that this yatra goes off successfully, security-wise, because then it will lend credence to their claims that yes, Jammu and Kashmir is getting back to a normal security state.
Yep. So that is why it's an important story, also an opportunity to explain what the big deal is with VVIP security and who gets it, who doesn't get it, and why it matters in the bigger picture. I want to thank all of you for joining us on the lead story this evening. We're moving on to the other big national